This video is the first in a series about Reading Sample Test 5, Text 2, Open Patient Records. For this question, we're going to start with the correct answer and work back from there to understand how it is evidenced in the text, as well as what evidence there is for the other answers to be wrong. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to improving your reading skills, but building your confidence in understanding how answer options relate to the text will definitely help you feel able to tackle Reading Part C questions. So this strategy could be one for you to use until you feel confident enough to try questions in the normal way. The answer for question 15 is D. But first of all, let's look at the question to make sure we understand it. In the first paragraph, we learn that in the USA, allowing patients access to their own medical records. It's a long question and a sentence completion type. I'm going to give you 10 seconds now to change this into a complete question starting with what has been learned. How does your question compare to this suggestion? What has been learnt about allowing patients access to their own medical records in the USA? Remember, the paragraph number isn't significant other than telling us where to read, so we can ignore it from the question. Option D states it happened over a relatively short period of time. Take 30 seconds to skim paragraph 1 to find the evidence for why this is the correct answer, using any time words to help you focus in on the critical part of the paragraph. There are lots of time words in the paragraph, all relating to increasing amounts of patient access to their own medical records, from about 2000, in 2010, by 2019, in 2021, today. In total, this is a period of around 20 years, which fits with relatively short period of time because 2 decades is when compared to or relative to other healthcare advances or even a person's lifespan relatively short. Now let's look for evidence for why the other 3 answer options are incorrect. Option A has been driven by doctors. Take 20 seconds to look for evidence of this answer option. Here, the meaning of driven is pushed forward or directed by, or in other words, doctors were the biggest supporters of patients getting access to their medical records. Driven is a simple word that you may be more familiar with in relation to controlling a car, and it's why thinking about vocabulary in the context of what you're reading is important. This option had nothing to do with cars. In fact, the paragraph doesn't tell us who was driving, allowing patient access. Starting from 2000, the use of patient portals spread rapidly, but we don't know whose idea it was for this to happen. A small number of doctors volunteered to open their free text entries in 2019, and in 2021 the US federal government mandated easy access for patients, but this is at the end of the time period we are looking at. For someone or a group to drive a change would mean they would be involved at the beginning, and we are not told this information. What about option B, was prompted by targeted research? Take another 20 seconds to look for evidence of this answer option. Option B is quite easy to eliminate. In the first sentence, we can see the expansion of patient access to electronic medical records has been accompanied by numerous studies investigating the experiences of patients and clinicians. Accompanied by means at the same time as, which is not the same meaning as prompted by research, which would mean allowing patients access to their medical records was caused by or a result of the research. Finally, option C was made possible by advances in technology. Take a final 20 seconds to look for evidence of this answer option. As we've already seen in option A, we are not given information as to why the access came about or was possible. The focus of the paragraph is on patient access to electronic medical records as opposed to handwritten medical records. So technology doesn't seem to be critical to the writer, who doesn't make any mention of advances in technology. From looking at the evidence, only option D is supported by the text.